Hello and welcome to the Texas edTPA Implementation Informational Webinar, Spring 2022. I'm Jessica McLaughlin, the Director of the Educator Standards, Testing, and Preparation Division at the TEA, and today I plan to share with you information regarding the edTPA, a pedagogy certification exam for teacher certification that is currently being piloted across Texas. As Texas school districts work in partnership with Texas EPPs to prepare, recruit, and support novice teachers, we want to take the opportunity to provide an overview of the edTPA and the current edTPA pilot, share rationale for exploring the edTPA as a replacement for the current pedagogy exam, the PPR, and share proposed plans to implement the edTPA as a certification exam requirement in Texas moving forward. This webinar will take approximately 15 minutes in total. At the end of the webinar, if you have questions regarding the edTPA and edTPA implementation in Texas, please do not hesitate to reach out to the contact email provided on the final slide. To begin, research tells us what our Texas districts know to be true, that teachers are the single most important in-school factor impacting student outcomes. We also recognize with our current situation, with the impact of COVID over the past 3 academic years, that we have seen a significant disruption in teacher attrition that has not been seen since the Great Recession. And this significant attrition issue is coupled with the urgent challenge of student learning loss due to COVID. In Texas, we have increased the production of novice teachers to meet the demands of the field, largely through alternative certification. But longitudinal trends also indicate that our novice teachers are more likely to leave the profession. Therefore, a significant proportion of our teachers in the state annually are novice teachers, with close to 25,000 teachers in their first year. These first-year teachers are serving at least 500,000 Texas students annually, and these students are also more likely to be students of color and economically disadvantaged students. And our Texas data shows that our novice teachers are not as effective as our students need them to be. As you can see in the chart, a teacher's impact on student performance increases significantly over their first 5 years, which our retention data indicates many teachers never make it to. Given our current moment, with our current teacher vacancy and student learning challenges, teacher quality, particularly novice teacher quality, is more important now than ever. Novice teacher readiness and retention is driven by the quality of their preparation. Research shows that teachers who receive high-quality preparation experiences are far less likely to leave teaching after their first year on the job. Our Texas EPPs are responsible for this quality preparation. To improve teacher retention and quality, we therefore have to address teacher preparation. The State Board for Educator Certification, or SBEC, is currently implementing a set of integrated policies and strategies focused on improving teacher preparation and quality. One of the SBEC's key priorities is to implement rigorous authentic certification exams that drive improvements in and provide transparent evidence of the quality of educator preparation. By implementing certification exams that measure instructional best practices in an authentic way and are relevant to Texas classroom experience, Texas EPPs will be held accountable to ensure that their preparation and support of teacher candidates is effective. One certification exam requirement, the pedagogy exam, has been a focus of the SBEC, as all teacher candidates are required to demonstrate mastery on a pedagogy exam for probationary or standard teacher certification. Therefore, changes to the quality and authenticity of the pedagogy exam has the greatest potential to impact the quality of educator preparation. The current pedagogy exam, the Pedagogy and Professional Responsibilities, or PPR exam, is a multiple choice test that is taken in a testing center that measures general EC12 pedagogy. That means that a teacher teaching pre-kindergarten and a teacher teaching high school chemistry are both required to take and pass this same exam to indicate they are ready for full teacher certification. And their preparation programs are held accountable for their performance on this same general content. Common guidance or advice provided to teacher candidates when they prepare to take the PPR exam is to forget their experiences in the classroom and instead think ideal world or ideal classroom. Success on the PPR exam, therefore, doesn't require that teacher candidates meaningfully practice or reflect on their teaching or receive high-quality feedback, those components that correlate to teacher retention. After taking the exam, a candidate receives a score report that includes a number of questions correct and an overall pass-fail status. Most likely, few teacher candidates look at that score report again after they've passed, and with a pass rate well above 90%, most likely few EPPs use their candidates' performance data on the PPR to drive program improvement. Given the challenges with our current PPR exam, the SPEC sought to pilot implementation of a more authentic certification exam, the edTPA, that truly measures the things that set educators up for success. Strong novice teachers are required to have a strong toolbox of skills to support student learning. They plan rigorous lessons that take into consideration the needs of their students. They teach those lessons in a manner that encourages student engagement and deep learning, and they assess that their students have learned what they needed to learn in that lesson, and the cycle begins again. The edTPA is a subject and grade-specific performance-based certification exam that's aligned by design with the cycle of effective teaching and meaningfully measures a teacher candidate's ability to do this work. A teacher candidate builds a portfolio of their teaching practice, demonstrating their ability to plan instruction and assessment, facilitate instruction with Texas students, and assess their students' learning through 3 performance tasks. Teacher candidates gather this portfolio evidence of their teaching practice during the course of their clinical placement or internship experience, demonstrating their ability to plan, instruct, and assess mastery of the TEKS, use their knowledge of the Texas classroom environment, and reflect on their practice for improvement. The teacher candidate's portfolio is evaluated across 15 rubrics, and candidates are provided meaningful feedback on their practice as a result of their edTPA evaluation. When we think about the difference between the 2 exams, let's consider the potential experience of a secondary math teacher candidate. When demonstrating their ability to effectively plan rigorous instruction via the edTPA, the math candidate would identify a learning segment based on the TEKS, develop or adapt a set of plans based on those TEKS, identify the relevant instructional materials and language supports needed, and develop or select appropriate assessments to measure student mastery of the lesson cycle. In contrast, on the PPR, the candidate would answer multiple choice questions like the one on the slide, measuring general pedagogy potentially completely outside their content area. The type of preparation that this teacher candidate would need to complete the edTPA planning task versus answer the planning question are fundamentally different. edTPA would hold programs accountable for the high quality training and support that research says correlates with retention. As shared, the SPEC implemented a pilot of the edTPA beginning in the 1920 school year with the intent of studying the impact of edTPA on Texas programs and candidates. The pilot has grown over the past 3 years with 40 programs and close to 2,000 candidates participating in the 3rd year. Participants include a diverse set of programs, including traditional and alternative certification programs and programs from a diversity of regions and sizes. Throughout the pilot, Texas programs have been able to develop edTPA expertise and a wide range of Texas-specific trainings tools to support implementation. And across the pilot, edTPA programs have seen no impact on program enrollment or retention. Data from the edTPA pilot shows an increase in all teacher candidate performance from year 1 to year 2 of the pilot, indicating that Texas programs use the edTPA performance data to improve their practices. There was also no meaningful difference in candidate performance by candidate race ethnicity group. This is in contrast to the current PPR exam that has a first-time pass rate gap of 16% between African American and white candidates. Texas data therefore indicates that edTPA is a more equitable exam pathway than the current PPR exam. Programs participating in the edTPA pilot also shared perspectives on the impact of edTPA during the pilot. Programs named that this was the leverage they needed to get all stakeholders engaged in making the necessary changes to better prepare candidates. They shared that they were able to have richer and more purposeful data conversations and named that candidates' reflections of their teaching and their effects on student learning had improved. They also named that conversations with school district partners are now grounded in a common vision that supports the schools and their program's goals. And finally, they acknowledge that while this does take more time to prepare and complete, that it's worth the time based on what school district partners are saying about the quality of candidate performance once those candidates are hired. Based on the lessons learned in other states, many of whom moved straight to adoption or took minimal time to phase in this edTPA requirement, Texas is engaged in a methodical 3-year pilot and is currently considering a proposed phased-in 3-year implementation timeline that would implement the edTPA to replace the PPR exam. The proposed edTPA implementation timeline would allow for a methodical implementation of the requirement over 3 years. Specifically in 22-23, the edTPA would remain optional alongside the PPR, with candidates passing the edTPA if they submit a complete portfolio. In 23-24, candidates would be required to complete the edTPA, with candidates continuing to pass if they submit a complete portfolio. Finally, in 24-25, edTPA would be required with an established passing standard. Texas has full control of this passing standard and would be able to leverage 5 years of data to set a standard that would not negatively impact teacher production trends. The multi-year runway provides time for training and support in the field and allows for consistent monitoring of teacher production trends given current staffing challenges. We do recognize that if there is no other policy changes, that some would argue that increased rigor in teacher preparation may reduce the number of people entering the profession. However, reducing the rigor of preparation would continue to lead to the increased early career teacher attrition. Therefore, we must combine a focus on increasing rigorous preparation, including implementation of the edTPA, with a focus on increasing recruitment, support, and other retention efforts. The Texas legislature has significantly invested in teacher recruitment and retention supports, including scaling Grow Your Own programs, teacher residency and innovative staffing models, and the teacher incentive allotment. A note here, a core component of the teacher incentive allotment is National Board Teacher Certification, which is a sister assessment to the edTPA, requiring similar demonstrations of a skilled teacher's pedagogical skill. In addition to these recruitment and retention efforts, Texas districts also have a wide range of hiring and placement flexibility options to meet immediate hiring needs, including District of Innovation flexibilities. Altogether, these practices to raise the quality of educator preparation and provide additional supports for recruitment and retention, these practices have opportunities to impact significantly our EPPs, teacher candidates, and LEAs. EPPs could provide better quality preparation and foster strong partnerships with LEAs. Teacher candidates could receive better quality preparation. Potentially, they may need to pay more for certification, but we have mechanisms to address this, and could have more equitable access to the profession and would more likely be retained. And finally, LEAs could have better prepared, diverse teachers who positively impact student outcomes, lower costs in terms of a need for ongoing recruitment and hiring, and novice teacher training and support, stronger EPP partnerships, and stronger teacher retention. These improvements could yield improved outcomes for Texas students and improved retention of the teaching workforce. For more information on edTPA, please visit the Texas edTPA pilot webpage. On the webpage, you will find a number of useful resources, including a Texas edTPA implementation overview and FAQ document that address many of the common questions and concerns regarding edTPA. We encourage webinar participants to review this tool as well. If you have additional questions, please reach out to Texas TPA support at tea.texas.gov. Thank you and have a good day.